Simple basic steps to writing chemical formula. The first thing that we have to do is get used to using our periodic table, and we write down the symbols of the elements. Second, we note the valency of each element. Following that, we simplify the valencies down if possible. If once we've done the simplification, we swap the valencies over. An important thing we should always do, we never ever write down the number 1 in chemical formulas. Hello and welcome to the Scott School Chem lesson on chemical formula. First thing I'm going to look at is this table where we match up group and valency numbers. So we'll go for group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, group 6, group 7 and then finally group 8, although group 8 is not so essential for when we're doing chemical formula. Valency, we're not going to look at the actual what valency is, we just simply want to match it up at this stage to the group number. So group 1 has a valency of 1, group 2 has a valency of 2, group 3 has a valency of 3, group 4 has a valency of 4, group 5 has a valency of 3, group 6 a valency of 2, group 7 a valency of 1 and group 8 a valency of 0. Now what I would suggest you do at this point is pause this video and take a note of that. So moving on to the first example, we are going to be fairly straightforward. We are going to look at a chemical formula for sodium oxide. The first step in doing our chemical formula is to write down the symbols of the elements which are present. As it's sodium oxide, our elements present are sodium and oxygen. If we go into our data booklet, we can see that sodium has a symbol of Na and oxygen has the symbol O. The second stage now is to write the valency. Sodium group 1 has a valency of 1, oxygen is group 6, therefore has a valency of 2. Now we've simplified down the 1 and the 2 as far as it can go, and the next stage is to simply swap them over, and the end result would be that our chemical formula is Na2O. Our next example to look at is magnesium sulfide. Again, if we look back in our data booklet, we should write down the symbols of the two elements which are present. Magnesium is Mg and sulfur is S. Again, the next stage is to write down the valency of each. Magnesium group 2, it has a valency of 2. Sulfur has a valency 2 as it's in group 6. Now in this case where the valencies are the same, what we can actually do is we can cancel the valencies out, we can simplify them down. And this leaves us with MgS as the chemical formula for magnesium sulfide. Our final example that we're going to look at just now is looking at the compound calcium carbide. And what we do is the exact same thing again, we write down the symbols of each of the elements present. So calcium is Ca and carbide, which is carbon, is C. Our next stage is to write down the valencies. Calcium's in group 2, valency 2. Carbon's in group 4, therefore has a valency of 4. Now in this occasion, where the numbers can be divided into each other, what we do is we simplify them down, and 2 to 4 becomes 1 to 2. Because the smallest number divides into each one. 2 into 2 gives you 1 and 2 into 4 gives us 2. After we simplified it down, the process is exactly the same. We swap the valencies over. And our end result for our symbol, our formula for calcium carbide is Ca2C.